So we're here today at the Macmillan support line, and we're going to talk to some people here as well as visit the LGI and see some real life cancer patients and understand the impact that the money that you guys have raised over the last 5 years and what that money has done. It's the most amazing cause. We want to celebrate the effort that you guys have put in.
Over 99% of the money that Macmillan receives come from voluntary donations from people like you. So literally every single penny of the amount that you have raised really does go on to make a difference for people affected by cancer.
So it's money that comes into the support line that enables me to give benefit advice to people that need it. It's difficult enough when you're off sick getting full pay, but when you're on a relatively low income, it can be even more difficult. One of the things we look at is whether we can help with those costs via the Macmillan grant, which is a one-off discretionary grant to help with cancer-related costs. They shouldn't have to worry about having the finances to go to treatment, and it's so important that they get there and have the treatment that they need.
I know I don't need the support as much as I used to, but oh my goodness, when I can remember the day I was diagnosed, I was on my own, sitting in a doctor's surgery, blubbing my eyes out, thinking, how am I going to pay my mortgage? So, you know, it's so important that that people do have this support.
The money you've raised so far has actually helped support or pay for 3 Macmillan nurses, which is absolutely amazing.
So to raise £165,000 is a massive amount of money, and we want to just say thank you to you all for all your amazing hard work. It's a phenomenal amount and makes such a difference, as Francine said. Cancer is probably the toughest journey that anyone will ever face, but life with cancer is still life, and Macmillan want to help people live that, and we really couldn't do that without you.
My daughter Harlow got diagnosed back in December last year, December 14th, which was great timing. I remember that walk down the corridor with her in the pushchair, and there was people like stood waiting for us to usher us into a room, and in that room was 2 doctors and 2 nurses, and they said, you need to take a seat, and I just knew that this is not going to be good. And they said, really sorry Mr. James, but Harlow has cancer. So it was just like a massive shock.
It's like the worst thing.
Exactly, the worst thing. That I just basically, I think I fell down to my knees, and I was just like crying, shrieking. I didn't know what to do. I was like, how am I going to even tell my family? Because I knew they were on the other end of the phone wanting to know what was going on. I'm like, how am I even going to get the words out to tell them? I couldn't even speak. And my husband's just quiet. He had no reaction. He was just shocked. I remember screaming out to them, because that's what you think when you think about cancer, is she going to die? And that was what I said to them.
I'm really, I don't know, quite humbled to hear the story. It's like every parent's worst nightmare. How Macmillan helped in this whole process, because people have a certain impression of Macmillan and what they do, and they don't necessarily think people like you will be helped.
I was thinking about that. So when they said Macmillan to me, I think that Macmillan has a bad association with people think end of life.
I agree.
And I think that, and as soon as they said to me, you have a Macmillan nurse, I was like, no, I don't need a Macmillan. She's not going to die. She's going to be fine. I don't want a Macmillan nurse. I don't need one. No, I'm not interested. But actually, when I met Carol for the first time, she was amazing and she was brilliant. And Macmillan's support is invaluable.
There is still that connotation about Macmillan that if they're involved, then that means you're going to die, and for parents that means their child's going to die. But ideally we get involved from the very beginning, and we follow them through the treatment, support them in school or in nursery, advise the family, liaise with the local teams, and we also support them right up to the end of treatment and or death, which unfortunately does happen with some of the families that we care for.
So if people like Carol didn't exist, if Macmillan didn't exist in the way that it does, providing the support that it does, who would pick that up?
It would fall on the families to do it themselves.
And there's no one else to support.
There
there's
is
no government body or anything like that.
No. Yeah, I mean, from our point of view, any penny that anybody can raise for Macmillan is a penny well spent, and hopefully those pennies become pounds, become thousands, and so on.
My experience with Macmillan, for me, was the support that not was there only for me, but for my 2 boys who were 14 and 17 at the time that I got diagnosed. My youngest son's behaviour had become a little bit aggressive and angry, in the respect that I suppose he was thinking, you know, why has this happened to my mum? You know, what's she ever done wrong? So my Macmillan nurse very kindly said, look, do you think it will help if I speak to the boys? Maybe if you're not there and they can sit and talk to me, whatever they're worried about, you know, they can express the feelings with me. Jodie met both the boys, and I just waited in the reception area, and they went into that room with their heads down, and they were in there about 40 minutes, and after that 40 minutes my boys came out with their heads held high, and they said, Mum, we can get through this. Jodie's been amazing. She's told us every stage of what you're going to go through with your chemo. She's taken us round and showed us all the equipment. She's there for us 24/7. All we need to do is pick up the phone. As a family, we could not have got through without Macmillan. The financial support, the emotional support, and just knowing that there's somebody there at the end of the phone.